Hey everyone, welcome to Shreyans Chess. Today we're starting from scratch and learning the basics of chess, the world's most famous strategy game. If you're a complete beginner, this is the perfect place to start. Let's jump in. First, the question arises that what is chess? Well, chess is a two-player strategy game played on a checkered board. Each player controls an army of 16 pieces, and the goal is simple: checkmate your opponent's king. That means trap it so it can't escape. Next, the chessboard. The chessboard has 64 squares, 8 rows and 8 columns. The vertical columns are called files, A to H, and the rows are called ranks, 1 to 8. Let's look at the pieces. Each player has 1 king, 1 queen, 2 rooks, 2 bishops, 2 knights, and 8 pawns. Now let's have a look at how do they move. First is the king. The king moves 1 square in any direction. Next is the queen. The queen moves any number of squares in any direction. Next, the rooks. The rooks move straight, up, down, or sideways. Then the bishops. The bishops move diagonally. Then the knights. The knights move in an L shape. 2 squares in one direction, then 1 square at a right angle. Lastly, the pawns. The pawns move forward 1 square, but capture diagonally. On their first move, pawns can move forward 2 squares. There are also 3 special rules in chess. First is castling, a move that lets you move the king and rook at the same time for safety. There are 2 ways to castle. Short castle, where the king moves 2 squares, that is from E file to G file, and the rook comes from H file to F file. Long castle, where the king moves 2 squares but from E file to C file, and the rook comes from A file to D file. Second special rule is en passant, a special pawn capture that happens right after an opponent moves his pawn, 2 squares forward. For example, in this position, black plays pawn to f5. Now the white pawn on e5 can capture it diagonally, and this is called en passant. The last special rule is pawn promotion. If a pawn reaches the other end of the board, it can become a queen, rook, bishop, or knight. For example, in this position,
the white pawn on c7 can promote into queen or rook to deliver checkmate. But let's promote it to a queen, and yes, this is checkmate, and it's game over for black.
The main goal in chess is checkmate, when the king is under attack and there's no legal move to save it. If you do that to your opponent, you win. Here are some beginner tips to help you start strong. Control the center of the board with your pieces. Develop your knights and bishops early. Don't move the same piece over and over. Castle early to protect your king. Don't rush, think before every move. And that's it. Now you know the basics of chess. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join our Discord server where the first 5 members would be assigned as the admins and the second 5 members would be assigned as the moderators. Server link is in the description. Thanks for watching and happy